Welcome back, everyone. The cost of buying a home is higher than ever, hitting a record $397,000 in June. That's according to Redfin. That's the average price. That's up 5% from the same time last year. 54% of Americans say they can't afford a down payment and closing costs. That's according to a recent bank rate survey. Some are turning to a new method now, buying with their friends. Here with us now is real estate expert and author Brandon DeSimone. Brandon, welcome. So many people are talking about this. So if you're thinking of buying a house with your best friend, with your BFF, what advice do you have?
You've got to choose the right friend. Sometimes it's not always your best friend, maybe someone in a similar life situation. You both plan on being in the same city for 5 years, keeping with your job, have some interest in building equity. It's got to be the right person.
Are there any potential dangers when it comes to this?
There definitely are. You're going on a shared mortgage with somebody else. Right. You're taking on that debt.
Yes.
You are ultimately responsible for the entire monthly mortgage. So if your friend defaults, it's going to affect you and your credit down the road.
So who should consider co-owning instead of buying or renting on their own?
You know, somebody who really wants to build equity, who's ready to be a homeowner, who's ready to commit to 5 to 7 years in the same location. Someone else who sort of has a job that's steady and wants to sort of really be in the same spot and wants to sort of build equity for the next 5 to 7 years.
You and I were talking about this during commercial. It's kind of like that Golden Girls thing, right? Where you're like, towards the end, you're a senior, you know, your kids are out of the house, you live with your friends. But what happens if you and your co-owner start to disagree about what should happen with the property?
For starters, before you buy with somebody else, you need to have an agreement in place.
A contract.
One contract in place which spells out how long you plan to live there. What happens if somebody needs to sell? Do you buy the other one out? How long should you live there for? You would agree at least 5 to 7 years of living together, then one has to buy the other out. It can become very contentious down the road. You have to have an agreement in place before you purchase.
What if it's something as simple as, you know what, the other person's getting married or the other person has to move out? Do those specifics also have to go into a contract?
Those things should be nailed down. You should agree, I'm going to commit to 5 years. And if something changes in your life, you've got to go back to that contract and say, I'm stuck with it. Because if someone wants to sell, you're stuck either selling or buying the other one out. It can be very expensive.
From your experience, verbal agreements aren't enough, even between good friends or family.
No. Get a good real estate attorney, 100%.
Get an attorney. All right. If you don't want to share your home, what are some alternatives for people who want to own a home but are struggling with the finances, can't make that down payment?
You know, there's FHA loans, there's 3% down payments, there's VA loans. There's lots of programs these days for lower down payments. The problem is rates are so much higher nowadays, double what they were just a couple of years ago. So you've really got to speak to a mortgage broker or talk to your bank and find out what options you have available to you.
Do you think there's a certain demographic or age group that may benefit from this more, or is it really just coming down to that ironclad contract?
I think the young first-time buyers who really want to own, it's a great time to build equity. That's how you build wealth in America. So first-time young buyers get their first leg up, and maybe older folks. You know, if you're widowed or you're divorced or you want to sort of have a commune of friends, the Golden Girls, like you said, that'd be a great opportunity to grow old with some friends or with another friend in a house.
Yeah, sounds really nice, I got to tell you. But the contract, I think that's very important. Thank you so much, Brandon DeSimone. Great advice. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.